Hello, welcome back. If you're new, then hello. I am the Handicapable Black woman. I talk about a variety of things, and I hope you check me out. But I do everything from dating nightmares with screenshots. I'm Patty, and yeah, you're gonna see all the pettiness. And then I also do River of Racism because a lot of people, especially ignorant, naive, uneducated people who, for some reason, think that racism and bigotry is over when, look at how our country, yeah, anyway, yeah, just watch some of those episodes. And then I have one on Reddit. Am I the absolute whore type of situations? But I'm going to be doing so many more. I do current events. I'm going to be doing interviews and talking to people with disability representation, LGBTQ, people of color, women, all types. And so I hope you like, comment, subscribe, and everything like that. But that's at least a summary. And if you see me, post images of either my books, my Etsy store, and things like that, it's like an entrepreneur has to do what an entrepreneur has to do. But yeah, I am starting my own business, as you can tell, and I'm going to be talking more about that. And I talk a little bit about that in past videos. I welcome to listen, but going to especially talk about the contrast or the contradiction of how people say people with disabilities just want to stay home and get money from the government. But then on the flip side, because then they want to say they're lazy, they're good. Like, oh, I've heard everything, especially before I was diagnosed or even after being like, yes. And oh, I have IQ episodes too, where I do top 10 of the most idiotic, questionable things that people have told me, especially when it comes to being or having a disability and a person of color. Yeah, a lot of people are ignorant. So, but yeah, so I have a variety of things. I hope you check me out, everything like that. But that's if you're new, if you have listened to a few of my stories and everything, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Please don't forget to like because that really helps all of this SEO algorithm jazz and everything like that. So, but anyways, okay, today is current event and it kind of relates to some of my dating nightmare stories in a weird way, in a very weird way, because as you know, if you've watched the dating nightmares, you have seen my exact standards, a screenshot of my standards that I put on various dating apps. And this is so I can screen out people I am and am not compatible with because I'm of age. I'm older. I don't have time to waste. I already wasted time with Mr. No Heart and Mr. Lockakey. And Mr. Lockakey kind of taught me why or reasons why I never want to date someone who was in prison, an inmate, convicted, or has a record. Like, no, yeah, he taught me so much. And I tried to give guys another, like, okay, I thought maybe it was just him. I thought maybe he was just, because literally, like, after he blackmailed me to date him and everything like that, I mean, that was huge red flags. But you already know about my mental health and stuff especially back then. But, and why he never met my parents. Because, yeah, I know this is going to be kind of an odd intro to the subject, but remember why I never introduced him to my parents. Because, remember, he was addicted to special candy. He couldn't stay off of special candy for 3 months because that was the deal I told him. He had to stay off of special candy for at least 3 months because I'm not introducing my parents to anybody who has that type of addiction. No, thank you. And then he kept like with his friends and everything. of a certain demographic or financial demographic. My parents worked hard for their money. They worked real hard for their, and I know everybody worked hard for their money, but it's like some people, or this gentleman, he thought he would kid around with his friends, and he would say with how my parents worked hard for their money, how they probably have really nice things, how he was going to make sure he brought his jacket with the big pockets. And he was going to slip up, and because he said, since I'm his girlfriend anyway, at least I would have part of home at his home. But he said he was joking. But I knew he wasn't joking because remember other episodes, because yeah, real as I do this a lot, sorry, but yeah, other episodes I talk about this. He kept getting caught, like he wasn't good at it because he kept getting caught, but he kept doing it. It's kind of like, yes, I get it. Don't be a quitter. But don't be a quitter when the stuff is legal. What? Yeah, quit doing illegal stuff. Especially if you're not good at it. Especially if you're not good at it. But he kept losing jobs and getting fired from jobs because he kept stealing from the jobs. And one of the times I went and returned the stolen property to the boss that he was stealing the property from. And then, like, I think I told you, yeah, I told you guys the story, or this is mostly for the podcast. So yeah, check out the podcast. I'm four or five episodes away from 100 episodes, so I'm pretty excited. But I tell the story about one of the last guys that I started seeing that was from prison. He was in prison twice. One of the times was like for 5 to 7 years, something like that. But I gave him a chance because he was honest about it. He was honest, and then it looked like he was turning his life around, starting his own business, and he seemed just so nice and genuine, and that he learned his lesson. And he told me about his past life and what got him into, the criminal activity and everything. And then after, like, our first date, he asked me to be his girlfriend. He was just like, wow, you're amazing, you're perfect, you're like great at conversation, great like with connecting and listening and being stimulating and everything like that. Have a great sense of humor, all this blah blah blah. It's like compliments, 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 pouring on the love. And that's another thing I kind of noticed with a lot of men who have been convicted and in prison. They start that off. They start off with the, here's some love, here's more love, here's more love, here's more love, here's compliments, compliments, compliments. Because remember, Mr. Lakaki, he started with the compliments because I just started my second master's. And so a lot of men hated that about me. But one reason why I kind of allowed him to blackmail me into the relationship, because I was like, wow, out of all the men, out of all of the men, he's actually proud of me. But that was a trick, that was a trap. And I learned from it. Yeah, when you meet a guy and he keeps just pouring, pouring, pouring love, yeah, back up, look around, and investigate. Okay, okay. But so, and then I have more stories, but that's just my intro. So that's at one point to like November of 2022 when I sat down and I was like, okay, what do I need to do as my standards? What is the type of guy I need to date? And one thing I realized, I am not compatible with men who've been convicted. And I'm going to be doing stories about men who were wrongly convicted and the racism within the American society of the prison system. Because there's men who have been in prison for like 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and then they get out. They found innocent. But especially because of racism, the police officers pinned it and put it on these men because they wanted it to be a black man. because they wanted it to be them. So I will be talking about that because it is such a complex issue. But for me, and the compatibility for me, I have to know what's good for my mental health. I have to know what's good for me and safe for me, because one of the last gentlemen that I did go out with that asked me to be his girlfriend on the first date, he poured on the love, poured on like messages, and I have the screenshots too. I can show you. Yeah, yeah. But you have to realize that you have to know yourself and know your compatibility and know who will accept you for you and genuinely for you and not be putting up a mask, because one day they're going to take that mask off, and then they're because that gentleman who was pouring on all the love and again asked me to be his girlfriend the first time, he ghosted me, but then he forgot our first date was at his house. Not too bright. But yeah, that's when he admitted to me that he was still doing illegal activity. And remember, Mr. Lockakey was still doing illegal activity. And even the date from Olive Garden, that's another episode. He took me on a date only to meet his special candy dealer. To meet his special candy dealer. And then we were driving back to his house with special candy in the car, and I had no idea. And he did not care. He did not care for my safety. He did not care for my clean straight of no criminal activity. He did not care. And remember, when he knew I was going to break up with him, Mr. Lockakey, like I was on my cycle and I was cramping, I was in pain, and I needed Advil. And he was like, I don't have Advil, but I have this. And I was like, what is that? And I kept questioning him. But he was like, trust me, no, it's a generic brand. He lied to me and said it was a generic brand. But then when after like 20 minutes to an hour later, I am feeling so off, and I found out he but then I found out, like, then he started bragging because now he was like, now that's in your system for 3 months. So now if you try to break up with me, I will call the police on you. And then they're going to test you, and then you're going to go to jail. So this is why I have that on my standards, because no man is ever going to trap me like that. And I've also dated one gentleman who, or I didn't date, but we started talking, like after I broke up with Mr. No Heart, I was back to dating and everything. And there was one gentleman who he was a previous inmate as well. Next thing I know, he was like, no, you're supposed to be submissive to me. Oh, why are you trying to write books? Oh, that's stupid. Oh, you're black though. You're supposed to be a black woman. Yeah, so this is black and white inmates. And then there was because that was a black inmate, because, the ignorance at it, because even with how I spoke, oh, so you want to talk like a valley girl. You want to talk really proper. Oh, why do you want to be white? Oh, you're so desperate to be included into the white society. And it's like, wow, 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 okay, okay. And then there was a white inmate or previous inmate. Yes. And when I say inmate, okay, there was previous inmates. They're out now, but one of them, well, you're a woman, so you have to be submissive to me. And just, when we were talking about our goals and stuff, and I was saying how I want to travel and everything like that. Oh, well, I don't want to go there, so you can't go there either. Excuse me? And then next thing I know, he's trying to tell me how I can only go where he wants to go too. And then, especially, I believe it's Japan. It's like, because there's different Disney worlds around the world and stuff. And one of my goals is to go to all of them. And he told me he didn't want to go to one or two. And I'm like, okay, that's your problem. And he was just like, well, you're not going either. And then I'm like, well, you're not allowed to go to, like, I believe it's Japan, but I need to double check. but they're like two of the countries that I want to go to. He can't legally, he can't. So part of me was just like, even if you wanted to go, you can't. Oops, oops. But okay, I know that was a long intro, sorry, but I have to say all that because now, since that's a standard, a lot of men who see my profile who have been in prison or have a long jail record or any criminal history, they call me stuck up and all this other stuff. But they don't understand. I see they are human. I'm human, they're human. I want them to have liberty, justice, freedom. I want them to be able to live their life, especially once they're out of the jail and prison. I want them to be able to get that job. I want them to be able to save enough to either get a good credit score so they can own a house. I want them to be able to have a family and raise that family better. Teach them not to make the same mistakes they did. So I want to make sure that they are able to redo the structure or at least change the pattern, you know? And I see that. I want that. But America doesn't see it that way, or at least certain people within the American structure doesn't see it that way. And I'm sorry, I might need a part two on this one, but it's just, again, I see them as human, and I think this is I keep hearing story after story about how when the inmates are sick, or like if they get cancer or COVID or bruises, sores, and stuff like that, how awful the medical is in the jails and prisons. And to me, I'm like, okay, yes, they did something wrong, but they're already being punished by being in the prison. Can they at least get proper care while being sentenced, while being in the prison? Like, why be in a body imprisonment when they're already in a building imprisonment? See? Because it's like we want people to change when they're out of the prison. I'll repeat that. We want them to change when they are out of the prison. But if we keep messing with their mental, we keep hurting them and disappointing them and hurting them. And yes, some are going to say, yeah, but you can get degrees in prison and you can get education and or a GED, high school diploma, and there's library. Yeah, there are. But with some of the health services and stuff, it's awful. With some of them, they are treated like they're not human. They're not treated with any type of respect at all. And that's not right or fair. And one example, and the chief is Chief Wade with this story. But if you pay attention to the news, you might have heard of what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi, where they had found 215 bodies behind the jail. 215 bodies. And I will try to say this in short because I know you guys don't want to hear about all of my thoughts. Well, anyways, if I get to a part two, sorry. But anyway, sorry, not sorry. But the family member, like, okay, one of the biggest issues I have is that with especially the Republican Party, they keep saying all lives matter, quote unquote. Because, yeah, it's quote unquote because inmates are people. People that are in prison, in jail, have long criminal histories. They are people. But we are not treating them as people. Why not? You say all lives matter. You got so mad with Black Lives Matter. But then you said all lives matter. Well, no. That's just quote unquote. That was just to try to hush us up, to make us be quiet. Because if they're human, when they pass away, why not call their mothers, their fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, somebody? They have family. And if you don't think they are human, know that their mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, cousins are human. Somebody loved them. And if you think not maybe not enough, hey, love comes in different ways, sizes, like, and sometimes with the whole, it's complicated. As all of you guys know, with your past and mental health, and love is complicated. Love, hate, trust, everything, like, it's complicated. So family is complicated because sometimes, yeah, people say blood is thicker than water, but if someone's in the LGBTQ community, is really that blood will kick, some of the blood will kick you real, they'll kick you out real fast and not even care. So family is very complicated, very. So all of that to say, it's like these people are human, and to just throw them behind the jail. They found 215 bodies behind the jail in shallow graves. Buzzards were getting to them. They were basically treated like nothing, treated like trash, treated like they were below human. And see, all lives matter. All lives matter. Pro-life. These people they had lives. Their family members are living lives. They want the respect to know that their family member passed away, so at least they can, bury them with respect. Give them a loving farewell. But no, instead they're being chewed on by buzzards. No. And some of them had IDs on them, so there's no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. And now they want to say that now they are creating a notification policy. Stop with that mess. No. No, 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 no. And then it's just, they were just in body bags and shallow graves. How about if that was your family member? What about if that was the chief's family member or one of the other prison workers? How about if that was how would you feel? See, because they keep saying all lives matter and pro-life and everything, when apparently these lives did not matter enough for them to apply to that standard. Why? Why? Why weren't their lives good enough? They made mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, and they were paying that price. And they passed away while paying that price. But why weren't their family members allowed to know and be notified? So, okay, I'm just gonna say, like, a quick thing to even create a nonprofit, maybe, so that when someone passes away, if you guys don't care about their lives, maybe fax the information to the nonprofit, or maybe hire a group of people so that they can notify the families, look them up and everything. So that these people that passed away, I repeat, these people, human beings who passed away, can be like laid down to rest, you know? But anyways, this is the Handicapable Black Woman podcast. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human. Please subscribe, like, comment, and also check out my books, my Etsy store, and all that jazz as well. But at the same time, remember, all people are people. People make mistakes. And yeah, that's all I can say right there. Take care. Bye. Hello, and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable, but most importantly, I am human.